Okay, guys, and part two is on. We didn't have to wait too long. I did promise the next day. I did leave Claude running overnight. Created a Python, a JSON script with some tasks, and I actually switched model in the night from 3.7 to 3.5 free version. Because the tasks in hand weren't too complex. We had already made um, the front code, all of the code lines, most of the files. We needed to update, refine and stuff. So the tasks in hand were to refine the CSS and the layout and all of these things. So it's been busy through the night. We've got no problems. All problems were solved. Um, We did we did have issues with the tailwind, as suspected. As I said, for some reason they just find um, that issue a little bit of a problem for a while, and it went round and round for a couple of times, and I sort of helped manually helped it through that part so we could move on. So here's what we got now. Totally different from where we were yesterday. Much more appealing to what I want. We've started to integrate some of the back end. We've got our footer. Um, we've got our links. Um, our four interfaces are correctly laid out now, as they should be. We've got our parameter interfaces looking very good. Um, and we've got somewhat of a nav bar up here. We could probably add a few settings to there. We've gone for like a very um, old school PC color scheme. Like you're actually talking inside of your code console. A little bit with a modern futuristic twist where we've got the classic green and the dark background and then the white. And we've added some nice CSS styling, refined each container, nice borders, separated everything out. A little bit of glow in places, just those real final little touches. Beast mode over there. I'd much rather have beast mode, I think, somewhere in the middle. And I think we need to um, elaborate a bit more on here. Obviously, I don't know, this is all what it's made, which is got to be changed, obviously. So we want just OpenAI for starters. It will, rather than all these separate ones. At first, we would choose API model. I think it needs a new section. Um, and then we would base model by company, and then we would have this model version below it, where if it's OpenAI, it has a list of all the OpenAI LLMs, and so on and so forth for the rest of them: Anthropic, DeepSeek, Gemini, or and anyone else I've left out, you know. So mode there. Oh, you can switch mode. Obviously, that needs work. It doesn't seem to be an option there. So we need the web browser mode set. That's got chat mode. I don't see any options to change it anywhere at all. Nope. So we need to add that function there in, and that will be a drop down, really, like this one, I suppose. Or we could just have a flick, a toggle button switch, and it would say API mode or web browser mode. Web browser mode would simply open a web browser up like Brave, um, and a user would be able to go to OpenAI, for example, and sign into that OpenAI account, and then just use the the web version of OpenAI chat, speak to the chat model based on your account, um, and you could do that with all the rest of them like that, where um, via the API key, um, it's much more custom, how you can do it. We would like to add more options later. We think version 2. So some of the things I'm already thinking is how to connect your own AI agents. I want to connect our operator agent to it, so this becomes a functional tool, maybe that AI agents can call. So give it its own API, and your operator agents will be able to come in and set up scenarios using a very easy no code for LLM agent, uh, agentic workflow, and use each one as a tool in a task. And that could save, a lot of workflow in your normal agent systems if you've got one. And then for the normal user, before, I think the everyday user would have just gone on to OpenAI or one of the others. They would have just used the LLM chat model, the one page, one browser, and then they might have ventured on, not long. Maybe they would be researching on one and then writing some text on another one. They'd use two browsers, and this is the sort of way most people would have worked. So this now just gives them the real handy ability to do that all in one browser, all in one terminal, in one interface. There's 4 different LLM models that you can program individually for each set task in mind. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at the moment. A few more uh, final fine tunes. I think probably by the end of the day we will be ready to test on local network properly with entering an API key and um, using the chat browser interface inside. So that'll be interesting to see. As for cost, where we were, I remember we started the project with $13.30. We're down to $4.16. So somewhat like $9.16 or something we've spent so far. We've probably done an app which would have taken 2 weeks to plan and build easily, and we've spent 48 hours so far to date. So um, very good. Total cost so far, most of that was in the domain name. Um, so yeah, 28 British pounds. So that probably somewhere around 30. $32, $33. Let's call it $35 for the sake of splitting hairs. And you know, what a saver! What a saver! I mean, it would have cost thousands to build the app. Otherwise, I know my time has gone into it, um, but as a founder, this is extremely handy. You're expected to be having those late nights and building out the project. So interfaces AI, hopefully by the weekend, beta live to people. We're going to work on how to sign up, so user sign up, database, privacy, security, settings. Um, we will integrate our existing system in places, so those out there who have been supporting us for our whole build. Don't worry, with the governance program that we've got coming out, NFT governance holders will get free use of this based on your tiers. So that will be a huge bonus to you guys. There's 2,813 WAG VC tokens out there that will be used into creating their governance NFTs. We don't know how many NFTs there'll be, uh, but they will get benefits of using the system without having to pay for the subscription. Everybody else does. As for subscription, we'd rather this was used by a lot of people. Most of it's partially open source. We have given copy use. People can copy and use for non-commercial purposes, and then subscription holders, anything you guys create using this, you own that content. We have no power of attorney over any content produced on the app. That's 100% owned by the user and the creator of whatever you create. Ours is just protecting the source code. And we think what we might do is, as we version up, so we go to version 2, we might fully open source version 1 to allow developers to build their own versions and give them a head start by using our code. Cost-wise, yeah, we're aiming it won't be more than $10 per month for the top packages and like the premium package, which would be like unlimited use, and then the white paper clearly highlights some of the routes that we're going to use to separate the differences, and more customization basically. When Lola comes out, free use of downloading Lola to be there, and the key thing with using Lola, she will be video active, so you can put your headset on. She will have browser use, and you could be here. Just you won't even have to type. You can just instruct Lola what you want in interface 1, what you want in interface 2, what you want in interface 3, and interface 4. Instruct her on all the different prompt settings, and Lola will have the function to call and use the tools to do all of that for you. So it becomes even hand-free. At that point, you could be, you know, in your office doing other stuff, or in your house and just communicating via a verbal message, as such, triggering that response. So pretty cool stuff that we've got already thinking in the pipeline of how to upgrade version 2 and so on and so forth. And again, usability, we want to keep it affordability, practical, obviously, whilst still having the collateral and funds raised to develop the project, take it further. And we are bearing in mind open source and further in the space for free as well. So we will work fairly and cross between the two. Like I said, I think the version idea is very good idea for us with when we move up a version, allowing the previous version to even lose that non-commercial aspect in the contract to freely open source it. Just a quick one then. Well, not quite so quick, but yeah, that's part 2. You've seen the updates. I'm going to be carrying on working now by this afternoon. I might do another video later today, or there'll be another one tomorrow for part 3, where we should be pretty much at final process and putting it onto our domain, making it live on Tinternet. Any questions, guys, just feel free to ask out in the comments below. If you haven't watched part one, you really need to. You should have done before now. I should have said that at the beginning, but yeah, we went into depth of how we created this app, what models we've used from the design, the research, the architecture, and all the steps. So watch part one. Part two will make a lot more sense, and we'll be off. Right, take care and speak again tomorrow.